let's begin, shall we? With point number 1, miracles. They answer the people's needs. I enjoy using a particular scripture, Matthew chapter 15, verses 22 through 28. These scriptures give us the picture of the Canaanite woman who had come to Jesus and she was seeking healing. Now, in context, I want you to imagine that the Canaanite woman had no access to the blessings that were available at that time to the children of Israel. The children of Israel were established according to this Bible and in context of this Bible as those who were to receive the blessings at the hand of God. Now, all of us who have come to know Jesus, the scripture tells us in the New Testament, in the book of Galatians, that we are heirs according to Abraham. We are now children of the promise. We can find these words that tell us of the promises also in Hebrews and other chapters of the New Testament. But the purpose for sharing this with you today is I want you to recognize we see a principle here, because when we discover that healing is the very essence of the children's bread. It is the very sustenance of life that God intended for you and I to experience. Why? The reality is that when you look into our modern world, you see that we are ravaged with various diseases of many types, incurable, that doctors have no answers to, that the best medical practices and technologies in the world have yet to be able to discover what they can do to answer the people's needs. Yet, Jesus gave for us a context by which we can understand that healing was set forth as the very bread of life, the very bread on our table, the very sustenance that you and I should experience. So the scripture says this, that as Jesus was walking, there was a woman from Canaan that came crying after him. And I can only imagine him walking down the road with his group of disciples. And this Canaanite woman most likely was yelling and screaming, "Hey, Jesus, Jesus, my daughter is lying at home and she is tormented." The scripture says vexed by a devil, chasing after Jesus. And she's saying, "Have mercy on me, O Lord." But Jesus would not answer her. And his disciples came and said, "Hey, this woman, send her away. She's bothering us." But Jesus answered again and he said, "I am not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But you know something? This did not deter her. And this is what I want you to remember, that healing is your very basic sustenance of life. So therefore, I want you to hang on to it. And as this woman cried out, as this Canaanite woman refused to be deterred, if you there today are listening to my words and perhaps for the first time you're learning that healing is for you, I want you to recognize you can be like this Canaanite woman crying out for this mercy. And God, like in this scripture, our Father will answer and Jesus will respond. So she came and she worshiped him, saying, "Lord, help me." But he answered and said to her, "It is not meet, or it is not right to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs." Now, can you imagine? Had you heard of the great healer that was in your country and you came chasing after him to get the thing that you desire and he tells you that healing's not for you, it's not for the dogs, and all of a sudden you have this perspective, is that who I am? Am I a dog? Yet this woman, because the Canaanites were known as dogs, their culture, their worship, their sacrifices, their idol worship, they were not a part of the covenant of the loving, living God, the God of Israel. So they were known as dogs. They were known as outcasts, as less than the others. But this did not deter her, because she said, "True, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered her, and he said, "O woman, great is your faith, and let it be unto you, even as you will, as you desire." And immediately her daughter was made whole from that very hour.